Thank you. You may all be seated. God, may the meditation of my heart and the words that come from my mouth be pleasing and powerful in the midst of this beloved community. I pray. Last week when I was getting ready to do my ecclesiastical council, I stood up there and I was like, so do I need to wear a name tag or do people know who I am? And of course, no name tag needed. People know who I am. I'm Jeffrey Dodson. I think the sentiment this morning when I was getting ready to worship, my daughter Ainsley walked up and handed me my name tag. Reminded me who I am, which is always a good reminder. I don't think I need to wear the name tag though. And I stand before you this morning to preach as a candidate for your settled senior ministry. And to do so is an honor and a privilege, and one I take seriously. Our scripture this morning from Isaiah talks about how God forms those who are called. It's a little different from our typical call story that we might hear in the Bible, such as Samuel's call in the middle of the night, or Moses' call that our song that we just sung is based on. God appears in a burning bush. No, rather, this call story in Isaiah is about how God forms us from the very beginning in the womb and calls us forth and shapes and forms us throughout our lives. And not just those who are called to be ministers or prophets, like the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but each and every single one of us who sit in the pew today, we are shaped and formed by God. We are shaped and formed by those who we sit next to, those who are in our community. We are shaped and formed by the rest of God's diversity. And my journey to be your minister, to stand here in this pulpit, has taken that journey to be shaped and formed. And I love the scripture this morning and how it frames that we are born out of God's womb. We are born out of the wombs of this world, which is why I think it is powerful to have this portrait up here this morning, not of three wise kings, but of three wise queens, three wise women. And so this morning I offer to you some snippets of wisdom that I've discovered on my call journey from the women who have borne me, who have helped form me out of their wombs, literally and figuratively. When I was a young high schooler, I was invited to preach my first sermon. It was kind of a joy during a Father's Day service, and I stood up with my confirmation mentor and delivered a sermon. It wasn't too hot. It was actually pretty much a hot mess of a sermon. But at the end of the service, I received a note from a member of the congregation that read, "Dear Jeff, yours was my favorite part of today's service. You were so clear and well-spoken. You've really got the spirit inside. How wonderful to be in this church with you. Have you ever considered ministry in your future? Sincerely, Ruth K. P.S. Your mom and dad did really well." And I was grateful to receive that note, and I was surprised as a young high schooler to maybe have the suggestion that I could be a minister. Me? A minister of God? Surely they weren't listening to the sermon. The thought had never encountered my mind before, and for this woman to have the courage to write that note to me said volumes about how I was beginning to be shaped and formed into this call in ministry. And I beg the question, who in your lives have been shaping and forming you in your call? Who have helped you to be birthed out of the womb and to understand what God's gifts for you are in this beloved community? When I was in college, I remember reading the scripture of Isaiah's call. The pivots on the threshold shook, and the voices of those who called, and the house filled with smoke. And then I, Isaiah, heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I. Send me." Before Isaiah recognized his call clearly, he was terrified. There was smoke everywhere, seraphs were flying about, and the pivots of the thresholds were shaking. Yet Isaiah courageously said yes to his call. "Here I am. Send me." When I was later in college, in 2003, the U.S. was warned about a possible invasion in Iraq, where the government was preparing to initiate war, and the students at the college I was at protested such an action. The organizers, the student organizers, pulled us together, and in the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. said, we need to protest this injustice. Remember that we are all tied to this singular garment of destiny, and whatever happens to one happens to all. And so in that same spirit, we gathered out on the plaza, and the organizers of this event invited us all to lay down in a giant peace sign on the sidewalk. And so I participated. I laid on the ground as adrenaline filled my body. Some other students and members of the community showed up to this protest rally as well and ridiculed those who laid on the ground. Arguments broke out. Opinions splashed out of mouths like mud from puddles. People cried. Those who stood hovering over those who laid on the ground seemed to be like birds of prey circling carcasses. A woman stood over me. "Can I ask you a question?" "Sure," I said. "What are you doing?" I didn't know. I didn't know. And I stumbled for words, and I said out of my heart, God asks for the sanctity of our humanity. America should not be going to Iraq. And she responded, "Iraqis are dying. They did nothing to deserve this. Violence, death, hunger, poor. Surely we should be going there to help them and not bombing them with these bombs. America shouldn't be intervening." I said, "Well, yes, we shouldn't be going there with bombs, but we should be intervening with doctors and teachers and food, not bullets and bombs." And she pressed me about why America thought it was so tough to get involved in such an international action. The questions got harder. Her pleas turned to pleas of intervening and removing Saddam Hussein. She begged, this is a person of tyranny who has oppressed the Iraqi people, and we do need the Americans' help. Our conversation circled and circled, and finally she stood back and said, "Can I ask you one last question?" I said, "Sure." "Would you close your eyes?" And I did so, not knowing what was next. And she kissed me, softly, on the lips, and then stepped away and disappeared into the crowd. She showed me that not all who come and appear to be enemies are my enemies. Not all my adversaries are there to do me harm, but are there to show me a better, more beautiful way. I found another reason to pursue my call, and soon things began to trickle for me to find my way to seminary. And I think sometimes people are afraid to tell their call story like the one that I just told because they sound a little crazy. And maybe they're right. Maybe God's call can feel a little crazy. The pivots of the thresholds may tremble, and the smoke may be all around us, and we're confused about what's actually happening and why we're here. But then out of the chaos, that epiphanal moment of clarity that says, "In you, here I am, send me." Today we talk about being called by God. And after worship, we gather to engage in this age-old tradition, calling a new senior minister. And not only does this body call, but others call as well. And some of those women who have called me along that faith journey include some professors that I ran into in seminary. Dr. Joanne Terrell, who's an African-American professor who taught me about prophecy, about saying truth, and about white privilege. She always had this story about this fountain she had in her backyard, and every class she would tell this story like we hadn't heard it before. But I think she did it to ingrain that message into our hearts. She had this beautiful stone fountain, and one day she went outside after the winter thaw and the spring was present, that the ice had cracked the outer bowl of that fountain, and it was leaking, and it wasn't working anymore. And so rather than going out and spending money buying a brand new fountain, she worked to fix the crack in the fountain. And she wanted us as students to understand that broken can be beautiful. And that often the best theology begins where the cracks are, where the pain is at, where the tough, hard calls are at. And so as we go forward thinking about our future mission and ministry together, we'll be talking about some of those cracks, some of that brokenness. And we're going to look at how that's beautiful and how we don't have to buy a brand new fountain, have water flowing and splashing, but that we can heal, and that broken is beautiful. In the scripture of Isaiah, the words of the prophets say that God breaks into our lives and calls and shapes and forms us. And God says, I will give you as a light to the nations, for the Holy One has chosen you. The lessons that I learned throughout my call story, this shaping and forming, all those were difficult and hard. It is difficult to face injustice in the world. It is difficult to face your fears in the crowd when you're lying hopelessly and vulnerable on the sidewalk. It is difficult to stand firmly where you are and maybe not have all the answers and not know what you're doing. It is difficult to find healing within the midst of your own brokenness. It is difficult to be loved unconditionally and to love unconditionally. I'd like to speak about one last woman in my life who has taught me a lot about who I am. It's helped shape and form me into the kind of minister I want to be, and that's my wife, Ashley. Honey, before this congregation here calls me to serve and be minister and leader, preacher and teacher, you chose me. And you walk with me in this walk every single day, through the hard calls and through the toughness and through those moments where I don't know what's going on, through the moments where we cry and shed tears, the moments that we celebrate life together and we have our daughter. You are one powerful, amazing woman. And out of your womb and out of your soul, I'm created and crafted and molded into this minister. I don't want you to ever forget how much I love you. And I don't ever want to forget how much you mean to me in this journey of ministry. Friends, we need each other. To hold each other to accountability and responsibility, to understand how deeply and powerfully we can love in this life. And there are women, and there are men, and there are people of all types of races and diversity who call us and shape us and form us. And we owe it to ourselves, and we owe it to God to listen to those voices. Because it is difficult in this life. But being called means engaging also in God's epiphanies, bared before you. It means joining God's dream. It means joining God's love in the creation of His beloved community. Jesus didn't travel this journey alone, and neither did I. and neither do we. I traveled with mentors and magi and seers and teachers and kings and queens. I traveled with people of diverse races, backgrounds, cultures, and languages. I believe most of all, though, that I traveled with the Imago Dei, the image of God. For all of these people reflect God's beauty and truth. All races, all sexes, all kinds. Without God's diversity, my calling would be shallow rather than deep. Blurred rather than focused. Broken rather than healed. From the womb, God called me. From the wombs of Magi, I was called by God to be a light for this church. From the unknown woman who challenged my assumptions that day on that plaza. From the church member who encouraged me to consider ministry for the first time. From the professor who challenged me to see strength and beauty in brokenness. From my love who has been there at my side every step of this journey. And now from Ainsley, my daughter, who inherits all we have to give for her. And in the words of Martin Luther King, may this beloved community continue to be caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied to a single garment of destiny. By whatever affects one, affects all. And this means that by calling me, you are calling yourselves as well to something deeper and more meaningful and more beautiful. Amen.
Amen. Amen.